morning, everybody, and welcome to the dawn of a new era here in NNSCRA as we begin our fourth season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are getting set to begin here at Daytona International Speedway with Speed Weeks, and we start things out here with speed qualifying for the non-charter drivers in their attempt to make the fourth annual NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series Daytona 500. Now here's how this is basically going to go down here this week. We'll be introducing you to all the drivers here in this non-charter field in just a moment. But basically the scheduling goes like this. Tonight, there will be 3 drivers that will race their way into the Daytona 500 by speed times. The top 3 in speeds will be racing in the Great American Race. Then tomorrow night, we will be ending up having a race for the non-chartered cars. The top 4, the winner, second, third, and fourth, depending on whether or not they've already made it on speed or not, they will transfer into the Great American Race as well. The following evening, we will have Daytona 500 qualifying with the 35 chartered rides. After that, we'll have our Gatorade duels, and then we'll have our Daytona 500 main event. Also keep in mind, though, we'll also have the Pizza Hut X Series qualifying stuff interspersed as well. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy weekend for sure, and we're going to have to see how it all plays out. But there are 3 drivers after this event is over here tonight, after 20 minutes, they will have made their way into the Daytona 500 on speed here in the Hersheys Cup Series. As you've got a look there at Jonathan Zorlin, the number 93 out of Fire Ice Racing. Jonathan Zorlin last year drove a Chevrolet for Swigley Motorsports, now over with Emmanuel Hartnett and that team, that Toyota team. The 93 car sponsored by M&M's, rather patriotic looking scheme. So we jump back here. There is Nick Gunther, the One Main Financial Chevrolet, number 7. This is Nick Gunther's first time in a Hersheys Cup Series car, as he is coming in as a team owner with 2 other drivers, which I believe both are actually in this field, so we'll see them during the course of this session. Chloe Erickson. We saw what Chloe was able to do last year when she filled in the final 10 or so races for Daniel Voiles. Erickson going to be racing full-time this season. And Chloe Erickson now in a Ford Mustang. So we'll see how she does. You'll notice up on the top left that Chloe Erickson does not have an R after her name. The fact that she partook in more than 7 Hersheys Cup Series events last season now no longer qualifies her for contending for a Rookie of the Year in the non-charter category. So Chloe Erickson going to be still trying to see if she can come off what was actually a really good quotes rookie season for her last year when she drove for Anime Racing Team. There's one of Nick Gunther's teammates. I mentioned that Nick Gunther had 2 teammates in this field. That's DJ Curtis in the 55, sponsored by Pilot Flying J on his Chevrolet. DJ Curtis, this is his first time as well in a Hersheys Cup Series car. Alex Miller, number 75 out of Red Dragon Motorsports, a rookie this season in his Chevrolet. He's actually a 2-car team this year. He's the owner of a 2-car team. We'll see his teammate in just a few minutes. Takio Vernio is back in the number 53 car. Vernio ended up not having as many starts as the driver that took over for him, Jake Moss. So Vernio actually comes back in. I think Vernio's still a rookie. I'd actually have to look at that. Vernio might actually not be a rookie. I'd have to look. I do not remember, to be honest with you. Matt McIntyre in the 26, a Buick this year, out of James Qualls Motorsports. So we're going to be seeing Buick make their debut here in the Hersheys Cup Series. Just checking to make sure I said the name correctly for the team. And right behind them, you've got another Toyota. That is Phil Parker, making his Hersheys Cup Series debut in Carolina Nut Toyota Camry out of Fire Ice Racing. We saw his teammate Jonathan Zorlin not too long ago. Dougie Shear is back for another full-time season with Michael Norman Motorsports, the Red Bull Chevrolet. And right behind him, there's the 95 that was formerly driven by Jonathan Zorling, now rookie Caleb Farrell behind the wheel in the MetLife Chevrolet for the Strigley Motorsports team. As we're going to bring up the speed charts now, as we are a little more than 5 minutes into this event. And right now it's the 45 on top, which I believe is Jordan Lopez. There's a look at Elijah Gilbert in the number 8. Elijah Gilbert was in the 80 car mostly last season for Seth Cole Baker Motorsports, but now they've moved over to the 8, so Elijah Gilbert there in the Z-Burger Ford. Steven Gonzalez, this is a driver that's a new driver, a rookie driver. The Winn-Dixie Chevrolet for Tweenix Racing. Tweenix Racing actually kind of spreading out this season, as they are going to have a total of 4 drivers this year, 2 chartered, and Dylan Pote, James McLeod, 2 non-chartered, and Steven Gonzalez and Sean Henley. We'll see Henley momentarily. Ryan George drove a Chevrolet last season. I'm trying to remember what the team was even called. I don't even actually remember what the team was called. He was a teammate with Jay Jefferson, but I don't really remember what that team was, to be perfectly honest. And I wouldn't be able to go back and look either. But driving a Dodge Dart, however, this is actually a Dodge Dart converted over from an old Ford Fusion from Young Motorsports. So theoretically, Ryan George driving for Young Motorsports here in the non-chartered section. As there's a familiar face, that Liberty University Honda Accord that we saw last season. Chris Dollerton back here for a second season. And he is driving for what was Rage Motorsports. It's now known as Axiom Rage. Alex Miller returning back to the racetrack. There is Quentin Moore in the 89, racing with Jesus Blue Dodge Dart. Quentin Moore driving for Fitzwater Australia Racing in a non-chartered ride effort. Just to his inside, there is Christian Merrick Jr. Now, we saw that ride actually go to victory lane last season when John Bunnell was behind the wheel, but John Bunnell not driving for that team anymore. Climber Tech Racing, that team now. Right behind him, there is Henry Nova, another driver. It's a teammate to Chris Dollerton out of Axiom Rage. Nova in the number 41 GoPro Honda Accord. And I believe should have a rookie thing after him, but he doesn't, so I'll have to fix that. Alex Gray, Chevrolet, number 0, Exalta Chevrolet. He's a rookie this year. No team, though. We don't know what team he runs for. No team name was given. There is Angel Navarro, number 98 Toyota. Kind of interesting because Red Dragon Motorsports has 2 Chevrolets and 1 Toyota, and that Toyota, as we said, Angel Navarro, that rookie there in the KFC Toyota Camry. There's the number 66 Altel Dodge of Cole Deaver. Sorry, I was just actually answering a message there. Cole Deaver driving the 66 car for Gardner Racing. Gardner Racing, Fitzwater Australia Racing, with a lot of intermingling support going on, so a lot of Dodge Darts in the non-charter section. As there's a look at Seth Cole moving over to a Toyota team this year. Seth Cole we saw split some time with Elijah Gilbert in the 80 last season for Seth Cole Baker Motorsports. Seth Cole now in a Toyota team with John Cittadino and Matt Haas. We'll see Cittadino in this field momentarily. Matt Haas, the only chartered ride out of that team. There's the car that was top of the leaderboard for a while, but now is second fastest. That is Jordan Lopez in the 45 car. And no, I thought I had a teammate for him, but I don't. Charles Jackson, the number 238 out of Climber Tech Motorsports. A rookie this season. Nice to see him back in an NNSCRA affiliated series. There's the car that's fastest on track, the number 85 of Carson Gum. That's another driver out of Red Dragon Motorsports, teammate to Alex Miller. And right now, Carson Gum en route with a 44.398 to make it into the Daytona 500 on speed. 64 of Daniel Gilbert, back for a second season with Michael Norman Motorsports, National Guard Chevrolet. Jump back here. There's a lot of cars in this group. There's the 97 out of Young Motorsports, David Culpepper, a rookie, Rubbermaid number 97 Ford Fusion. One of 5 entries this season, one of 2 non-chartered entries for Young Motorsports. They've also got Dylan Young, JT Bryant, and Dylan Young up in the chartered system. Chelsea Bowles, the number 56 Dodge Dart out of Fitzwater Australia Racing. And just behind them is right there the number 64 Boston Market Cobalt Tools Chevrolet. That's the 3rd entry out of WG Motorsports. Teammate to Nick Miller and DJ Curtis, Austin LaPlante in the 64 car. Daniel Olson, number 47 out of Overdrive Motorsports. Team which is kind of a farm team, developmental team, if you will, by JT Bryant. Zachary Stoltz back for a second full-time season with Fire Ice Racing, rather, number 86 car. There's one of the non-chartered cars out of CJ Racing, Caitlin Tsang, in the number 28. Caitlin Tsang has not so fond memories here of Daytona. I'm certain, as Caitlin Tsang ended up finishing second to Matthew Dallio in the then Almond Joy Series, now Pizza Hut X Series race here last year at Daytona. Right behind her, the number 112. There are 2 12s on the track. One's a Ford, and the other one is a Honda. The Honda being Chris Dollarton, the Ford, of course, here being rookie Cody Smart, but being numbered as the 112, so that way both cars are able to run on the track. There's the other Buick. We already showed you the 26, and now here is the 6, the 26 of Matt McIntyre, and now the 6 of Paul Minnick, making his move full-time up to the Hersheys Cup Series in a non-chartered effort. We're also going to see Paul Minnick running in the Pizza Hut X Series as he is signed with Junior Motorsports in the 1. Kev Shearer, one of the non-chartered drivers to return this season that had a victory last year at Indianapolis. Raced his way into that event, took the checkered flag. Kev Shearer running the Pittsburgh Pirates Chevrolet, still fielded by Srigley Motorsports. There is the number 96 we already mentioned about Cole Deaver. Well, I believe this is, I think it's his brother, Tyler Deaver. Rookie in the 96 out of Gardner Racing. We're getting down to crunch time here. Right now it's Carson Gum, Jordan Lopez, and Daniel Gilbert who would make it in on speed. Actually, there's a tie between Gilbert and Charles Jackson. We'll get to that in a minute. See if there's anybody that I have not yet introduced. There's the other Tweenix car I mentioned, Sean Henley, and he's actually coming to pit road along with Caleb Farrell in the 95, Sean Henley there in the 57 Pfizer Viagra Chevrolet. There's another car I haven't mentioned, John Cittadino, the 5-Hour Energy Toyota, about to actually work with his teammate Seth Cole there. Both drivers, the 79 and 77, out of Furniture Row Motorsports, obviously. I've mentioned everybody in this group. I think there's a couple I'm missing, though. Maybe not. There's Carson Gum returning back to the track, fastest currently. Has a good chance of making it into the 500. I guess I have covered everybody. So right now, the tiebreaker would be between the 4 and the 238. Both running here at the tail end of this pack. There is Daniel Gilbert right behind him, the Klondike Chevrolet of Charles Jackson. These two have to basically settle it amongst themselves. I don't exactly know what would go. If it's a tie between these two, I would think both would end up making it in on speed, and so that would make it only 3 drivers that would make it into the 500 in the last chance qualifying race. The interesting thing, too, about this season, too, is that last chance qualifying race I'm talking about is actually a points-paying race for these drivers here in the non-charter, because there's going to be points that are accumulated by the non-charter drivers, and there are going to be points that are accumulated by the chartered drivers for the season. And for those that do not know the whole system yet, basically how this works is the top 5 drivers in the point stands at the end of the season for the non-chartered series, they will get the charters of the drivers that finish 30th through 35th, or 31st through 35th in the standings for the actual main series of the Hersheys Cup Series. So it's actually really, there's a big reward if you end up doing really, really well this season in the non-chartered series. So not only does the winner of the last chance qualifying race here at Daytona for the non-chartered cars make their way into the 500, they also head into the following week's race, which I believe is at Rockingham, UK. I'm not exactly certain. I'd have to look at the schedule again. But that would put them as the points leader heading into that race. That last chance qualifying race the following week. Find Carson Gum, there he is. Running all by his lonesome now. His fastest lap, 44, just under a 44.4. Now he's running 48.2s all by his lonesome. Guess just trying to stay out of the way and not have to go to a backup car or something. But as things stand, he and Jordan Lopez both will make it in on speed, and it looks like Daniel Gilbert and Charles Jackson, unless something happens in the next 3 minutes to tie, break up those two's tie, it looks like they will actually also be making it into the Daytona 500. Let's find Lopez in that 45 car. Somewhere back here. Is that him? No, that's Austin LaPlante. A lot of drivers on pit road right now. Oh, there he is. There's Lopez. Jordan Lopez, let's not forget, in the Pizza Hut X Series last season was a 3-time winner, and one of his wins ended up coming at a super speedway in Talladega. So, not surprising to be seeing him having a good run here at Daytona. 2 minutes remaining, and still nobody has really even gotten close to even challenging Daniel Gilbert or Charles Jackson for that 3rd position. Closest to those two is 5th place David Culpepper, who is currently at a 44.9. That's 4/10 off of 3rd place. That's a full 6/10 off of the fastest lap laid down by Carson Gum. And what with the number of drivers coming on the road right now, that's kind of breaking the field up, which doesn't give very much opportunity, very much time to be able to start forming up and making lap times worthy to get in. You see Nick Gunther slicing and dicing his way through, had some help from Alex Gray and Christian Maverick Jr. As I think we had an issue just up ahead there. There was some dust that was kicked up. That might have been from Tyler Deaver in the 96 coming back up on the racetrack. Maybe it was Henry Nova there you see on the apron. I don't know for certain. Regardless of the case, there is less than a minute left to go, and I do not see anybody anywhere close to hitting a 44.5. There's just not anybody formed up well enough to be able to do it. Paul Minnick coming out behind Charles Jackson. Charles Jackson, Carson Gum, two drivers that are very well known in NNSCRA Series, but just not in the Hersheys Cup Series. This is their Hersheys Cup Series debuts, and it looks like they may be making their debuts in a points-paying race, the Great American Race, Daytona 500. Caitlin Sang there on pit road. There's Chris Dollerton. There's Jordan Lopez. That Toyota Camry in good shape of making the 500. Right now it looks like we've got 3 Chevrolets and a Toyota. That would be the non-charter representatives in the 500. As my dogs are barking. Carson Gum working his way by Elijah Gilbert, getting some drafting help there from Kev Shearer. So Carson Gum is going to make his Hersheys Cup Series debut in the 500. He will get the opportunity to improve his starting spot in the Gatorade Duels. He'll be starting at the rear of the field for that, but still, he will be locked into the show. So a big-time boost here for a debuting rookie in Carson Gum. Sponsored by Batman, but I bet he feels like Superman here tonight. And it will be, I believe, 3 rookies and 1 non-rookie that'll make it into the 500. The rookies being Carson Gum, Jordan Lopez, and Charles Jackson. And the non-rookie being Daniel Gilbert. And out of these 4 drivers that are making it in on speed, only 2 of them are partaking in the Pizza Hut X Series race here later on this weekend at Daytona. Carson Gum and Jordan Lopez, 1-2 on the board. Session complete. We are done. And that is going to do it. So, it was originally going to be 3 drivers make it in on speed and 4 drivers make it in on the last chance qualifying race. That has changed. It will now be 4 drivers making it in on speed due to the tie between Daniel Gilbert and Charles Jackson. And so that means that only 3 drivers will make it in, the winner, second, and third in the last chance qualifying race for the non-chartered rides later on this week. But how about this? It's going to, and apparently Charles Jackson wasn't a rookie. I thought he was a rookie. According to my thing, I thought he said it was a rookie. Okay, so I got a lot of editing to do as far as the rookie things are going. But anyway, regardless of that fact, that is going to do it here for our speed qualifying here tonight at Daytona. Carson Gum, Jordan Lopez, Daniel Gilbert, and Charles Jackson are all going to be racing in the Great American Race here this week in the Hersheys Cup Series. Take a look there at the rest of the speeds. Tyler Deaver, Nick Gunther, Paul Minnick, and Kev Shearer all at the bottom of the list. All these other drivers from 5th on down will have to try and race their way into the 500 in the last chance qualifying race coming up later this week. Next up here for the Hersheys Cup Series anyway, we're going to be having our pole day qualifying session going on, where the 35 chartered rides will try and capture the pole and the outside of the front row for the Great American Race Daytona 500. After that, we'll have our last chance qualifying race, our first points paying race, if you will, here for the non-chartered rides. Then we have our Gatorade Duels and our Great American Race Daytona 500. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today, and we will see you guys tomorrow night for our pole day qualifying for the Hersheys Cup Series. As you've been watching production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.